Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Back to Live podcast version. So this time, what I'd like to talk about is that it's good to research. It's good to research past stuff to solve the problem of low birth rate. So which is the conclusion of which is also the conclusion of this episode. So what I'm telling you is that this is maybe if you live in a developed country, most developed country has a common problem, which is low birth rate, or the fact that birth rate is really low, because the the inward of the problem is that there is a woman, and she is going to have a there is a young woman who is going to have children. So number of the children she can bear, or she can give birth to is one or two. Not she can, or she can give birth to a child or two children, which is a problem of which is inward of this problem, or which is the inward of the problem named low birth rate in this episode. So I said one child, one young woman can get one child or two children, but so the thing is more complicated, because in most countries the birth rate is 1.4567, which is numbers most developed countries have. So in the case of my country, the birth rate is 1.4, and in other country, in the case of another countries, for example, so Germany has 1.5 or 1.4, stuff like that. And maybe there are some discrepancies, or there are some differences between the local people and the immigrants in a developed countries. For example, so if you live in a developed country, you can easily understand, or you can easily speculate that the local people do not have the local people have fewer children than the immigrants, which means the image or the data is like the birth rate of the local people in a developed country is 1.5, but the birth rate of the immigrants in a developed country is 2.5, stuff like that. The image is stuff like that. But actually, so in this episode, what I'd like to suggest is that it's necessary, or it's really good to research the past generations, or the past society. So why I come up with this idea is because, so there's a how should I say, there's a urban legend. There's an urban legend which is, so it's maybe the story I'm going to tell you is called an urban legend, but the scene is held in a rural area, or in countryside. So there's a rural society in which only the oldest boy can succeed the family, which means if you have, for example, if you have 10 children, for example, this is a hypothetical situation. So if you have 10 children, and there's a boy who is the oldest, he can succeed your own wealth, or your own house, and the rest of them have to work for the oldest boy. So if that oldest boy have brothers and sisters, all the siblings have to work for him, or work for the house, or work for the family, and only the oldest boy can get married, can marry a girl, and they are going to get a lot of children, and succession manner is the same. So those descendants are going to get, for example, the descendant couples get, for example, the 10 children. So those 10 children are grandchildren for you and your wife, for example. So in this hypothetical situation, you have 10 children, and you're going to have 10 or more children, maybe, if possible. If your child if your child or if your oldest boy or oldest son can get 10 or more children, your grandchildren are going to be 10 or more children, stuff like that, images, stuff like that. So, in such a case, so who is going, among those grandchildren, who is going to succeed the wealth or the house of your son is the oldest grandson or oldest boy. The oldest boy can succeed, or how should I say, the oldest grandson can succeed all the wealth, including your own house, which is a succession manner in that local or not local but rural area in my country, this is an urban legend, which is why this might not be a real, this might be an imaginary story, but maybe stories are not so different from, maybe I think the reality is not so different from that story, which means what I'd like to tell you is that maybe in the past only the oldest boy can succeed all the wealth, including the house of his parents, which is why maybe only the oldest boy can get married, can get married, and only the oldest boy or only the oldest son can bear or can get a lot of children, and other siblings have to work, or other siblings have to go away from the house of the oldest son, and other siblings have to marry, for example, or in other cases other siblings who didn't marry have to work for their own houses, or have to work in other places. Well, I should have used the past tense, because those hypothetical situations might actually happen, might really happen in the past, which is why other siblings had to work for other places, or had to work for their own families or for their own houses. Maybe past era might be such kind of era. So which is why but I'm not saying that it's good. Such a situation is good. I'm not saying such a situation is good. So ideally speaking, all the people should marry. But it's if it's impossible, so another manner is necessary. So for example, if you are singles and if you want to marry, it's fine. You can marry, but not all the people, all over the world wants to marry, because some people want solitude, or some people want to live alone. Some people like isolation, or some people do not want to marry, which is why if for example, what I'm going to suggest is that, so rich people should have, for example, people should have a lot of children, which is how it might be possible to solve the problems of low birth rate, which is what I'd like to suggest. So it's like, so there's a system that there's a social system that a husband, a man can get a man can marry a lot of women. So in Islam society, for example, so that system is a kind of good. I think sort of that Muslim system is sort of good, because rich people can get a lot of children, which is why the number of children gotten by, or the number of children born from rich family can offset, or can how should I say, can level the losses poor parents would be might have got, because if it's fine, so the conclusion is not the conclusion, the gist of the problem is that there are fewer numbers of children, which is why the descendants can't support the current wealth of their own countries, which is why it's fine to get a lot of children. So it's fine that some people who can afford to raise and educate a lot of children have to get a lot of children, which is a solution to to the problem named low birth rate. So to enable such a thing, so I think I think some hints or some solutions might lie in the past system, in the past society, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you. And finally, I said offset, but if you don't know the meaning of it, compensation is good for explaining the meaning of offset. So what I'm telling you is that, you know, so if some rich people rich people get a lot of children, and that number of the children from rich family can compensate for the losses of the children who are born poor families. You know, the number of the children from poorer people may be smaller, but you know, in this situation, you know, rich people have fewer children than than rich people have smaller number of children than poorer people or impoverished people, which is the current situation, or which is the situation of this society. Which is why, you know, so rich people should get a lot of children. And here, let me correct a mistake. So I said solicitude when I'm talking that there are some people who do not want to marry, but actually what I wanted is solitude, not solicitude. So solitude is what some people want who do not want to marry. So which is why, so you know, some people do not like marrying, or some people do not want to marry, which is why, you know, those people want solitudes, which I don't know whether plural term is good for explaining their what they want, but what's that type of people want. But actually, you know, solitude is what I wanted to pronounce, not solicitude, and please understand this.